Yo, yo, what's up, everybody? This is not how you normally see me. We are in a creative version of my Forever World. It's a separate world save that I have. We are going to be doing a new thing today where we are going to be designing one of the builds. So basically showing the process how I would come up something like this, where in the Forever World episodes, it kind of just goes by as a time lapse and you don't get my design process and that kind of stuff. I figured it might be nice to show some of that stuff. Some people asked for it in the comments, so I figure we'll just break it out into its own episode. So what I want to design, let me set it to day really quickly as it's getting dark. What I want to design and something that we need for the world is we need some bee farms. Why we need some bee farms is A, there's going to be some redstone builds that require it. B, get it, B, we need some honey blocks to put a villager in here to man his shop. If you put honey blocks, the villagers can't jump. So we'll put honey blocks with carpet on it, and then he'll actually stay behind the counter the whole time. But we actually need some honey blocks before we can actually do that. So I figure let's build a nice bee sanctuary is I guess what to call it. To put our bees underneath and make it look nice and pretty and blah 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 blah. This series, it's not really a series. This one's gonna kind of just be like unedited, kind of raw. Just however long the episode is, the however long the episode is kind of thing. Obviously I'll cut out like all the fluff in between, but yeah. So first things first, we need to pick a spot. My inspiration on this is I kind of like I don't know if you've ever seen like those butterfly garden kind of things where you go into like a glass building, kind of like a greenhouse almost. There will be a bunch of plants and everything, and the butterflies are flying around and they land on you and stuff like that. I want to do the same thing, but for bees. So we need a spot where there's going to be a villager manning this place. There needs to be a building for him to live in, him or her. And on top of that, there needs to be this big glass greenhouse. So it's not going to go up here because this is going to turn into a big build at some point. Same thing like on these sides. That's going to be a villager trading hall build. I've mentioned that before in the Forever World series. I was at first thinking something over here, but I flew around a little bit more. This is a little too far. I kind of want it to be in render distance also. I kind of like over here, I mean, minus the lava, but I kind of like this spot where if we ended up doing like a little terraforming down a little hill, this kind of seems like a nice little nook where we could build a bee sanctuary. So I think we're going to do right here. That of course requires us to flatten some land and remove all these trees. So I'm going to get to that super quick and then I will come back so you don't have to watch that. Silly me. I just got over saying this is going to be pretty unedited. I'm so used to doing like Forever World stuff. I get to use creative tools. So this actually won't take that long of a time. So fun thing. This is Axiom. I don't know if you guys have heard of Axiom. Axiom is fantastic. I'm sure there's much better ways of doing what I'm about to do. Let me I gotta remember how to use it. Clear selection, that's the word, that's the one. But yeah, you can just select like a bunch of these and delete them out. So much easier than running around and doing all that kind of stuff. So let me just rip through these really quickly. Just like that. We can start with that for now. Probably want to flatten this also. So let me just here. I'm not the best with axioms, so I'm sure some people will probably watch this and cringe a little bit, but it gets the job done. Let's get rid of this over here also. Yeah, that's too low. Undo that. We can fill some stuff back in. So let me just fill this in really quickly. The like tiny stuff like this where I'm filling in like dirt, I'll just cut so you don't have to deal with watching that. Okay, we can fill this lava in. We can, I think Axiom has a fill. Fluid ball elevation, flood fill. Maybe not. Okay, maybe not. I'll just cover it up. And when I actually build this in my forever world, I will remember to light up underneath this. Don't need to worry about it right now, though. All right, cool. So now we got a nice little flat area to work with here. Punch these out of the way. Awesome. All right, so I figure I don't know how big necessarily to make this. I kind of want to do, it's going to be like a squarish shape, where the corners are going to have like little dirt grass patches. So they'll have like some flowers, some trees, and then there'll be like a little path that goes like a cross pattern through the middle. So little things in the corners. Maybe put the house on the side. I kind of just want it to be like a little shack. I want most of it, the attention to be drawn to the actual sanctuary part, like the glass greenhouse. So we could probably lay something out for that. Let me clear this inventory. We want to use white stained glass, and we'll just try to figure out what size we want to do here. A little bit bigger. Yeah, we could probably do something like that. Make sure it's an odd number. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Let's go one more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. Let's see. Yeah, that should be a decent size. Like if we terraform this a little bit and you're coming down this, be like, yeah, that should be big enough. And that way we can still have a pathway that comes through here and goes out to that direction. So I think that will be good. So let me build this out. That. Okay. Set it to day. Yeah, do something like that. We can maybe round the corners a little bit more. Like if we did something along those lines, that might look a little bit nicer. Yeah, that looks much nicer that way. Get those off of there. Also, is my connected textures. Forgot I added continuity mod, so that should make this look a lot nicer. Sorry, this might stutter while it's rendering everything back in. Well, we might be good. Okay, so also these buildings always have like an airlock, so none of the animals can get out, so none of the bees will escape. So center is there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. Yeah. So we will need that. Sure. So then we can have our airlock. So none of the bees can escape. We'll also have to have a staff door over here for the person who owns the shop. Maybe go there. And then let's lay out, if I was to make, what would I want to make that out of? I need to put like a little retaining wall. So we're going to use some form of stone that would look nice. Maybe we could just do, I mean, there's always the good trusty stone brick with like mossy stone brick. That might be the way to go with this. Go like stone with mossy cobblestone and cracked. Try something like that. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We'll just lay this out and then we'll figure out some texturing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 2, 3. Maybe we want that to poke out a bit more. Something like that, maybe? Let's put, we'll put them all in and then we'll see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 3, 4, 5, 6. These out of the way. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I don't like that lines up directly, so maybe this one we make one shorter. I get a little different shape. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's 2, 1. Get out of there. Something like that. That might not be too bad. And we could do like a little something in the middle. Maybe like a tree, custom tree in the middle might be nice. Yeah, let's try that out for now. Let's fill this in. It also might be nice to make this first layer not glass. Because it would kind of make sense that the first layer is not built on glass, so... Okay. Then we gotta do flooring. So can probably, I want to keep it like natural. So we'll do like coarse dirt. I don't want to do a bunch of rooted dirt. So we could probably just do like paths and like gravel. Yeah. We grab a shovel too. We'll sprinkle some stuff around here. These ends definitely need like a bench or something built. Would be nice. This just needs to be centered. sprinkle in some gravel. Oop, there goes my coarse dirt that I just put down. Oop, forgot about that. You can just be grass. Is this all gonna be? Of course it is. Okay, come out of the hole, please. Do that. Need some gravel. Goes this way. Yeah, so looking at it like this, I definitely think we do like a small custom tree that kind of umbrellas a little bit. And then more just like plants and stuff on the side with beehives in the corners. And then the bees will just free range, which will be cool. I kind of want to do some beehives on the outsides too. I think that'll look nice. So there'll just be like bees hovering over here all the time. So this grass will grow in. I think we need a little bit of height on this. So let me grab some dirt. Oh yeah, also we need to put the path blocks down where people would be walking around. Try not to replace all my coarse dirt that I just put down. And I'm not going to go crazy in the center here because now I want to do a tree there. So the question becomes, I'm going to have to get some reference pictures for a tree that I would like to build. Also, this tree needs to just go away because it's way too close. So let's hop into Axiom. Let me grab this magic select. Oh, I'm grabbing way too much stuff. Clear selection, please. That move selected. Just go up one block, please. That did not move at all. So why don't we just do this? It'd probably just be a bit easier to put the blocks down myself. Just too bad. So much easier. Axiom's really good when you have like a bunch of stuff that needs to be moved, but when it's like tiny blocks like that, it's definitely easier to slap stuff down by itself. Trees in the way. So question becomes, what do we want to use for a base material to go underneath this ring? So, I mean, we can look at some of the other builds we've done and see maybe diorite might be a nice base, like half diorite, half polished maybe. That might be a good level to start. Do something like this, diorite and polished diorite. And then we can do wood on top of it. Something like that. Yeah, we'll just continue the build theme. So zip back over here. Grab diorite. Cut off my bar, polished diorite. We'll just do so we'll just slap this down, fill this whole thing up first, then we'll come through, do a little texturing pass. And by texturing pass, I mean randomly place polished blocks until it looks good and doesn't just look hideous the entire time. Cool. And then we can do some polish here and there. It's not too much, not tiny amount. I gotta remember during the actual, when I build it in the actual world, the actual forever world, to remove the water underneath there, because I can hear the gurgling sounds of the lava, what are those called? Why is my brain not working? The little lava things that you step on them and they fry you. My brain's not working. Okay, so that will be the base layer. These front ones are not going to be glass because we'll do like some form of a ring, which means we will do the same thing here. So I would like to have maybe a tiny bit of height in these corners, or do I keep it flat and do moss? Moss might be the move here. And then like moss carpet. Yeah, that actually might be the move here. Let's sprinkle some moss in, which also will allow us to, we can bury some firefly bushes and put them under some carpets. That'll look cool too inside the dome. It'll give us that particle effect at nighttime. Yeah, do something like that. Bada bing. This needs a little on the edge. Yeah, that's random. Let's put our, I already put one mossy block there, so we can put a couple cracked would look nice every now and then. Show that it's been here for a while. But not like destroyed, like the guy neglects his shop or something. Yeah. And then we can go add a couple mossy ones. Like stuff's overflowing. And yeah, that looks cool. So you would come in, there'll be like a tree. These we're just going to bone meal to start. And I want the firefly bushes. Also, I think having like 2 of these per would be nice when we put the carpets over. I also want to sprinkle a couple of those around. Just to give us, it gives like that little bit of height. Let's pop some of these in all the corners. Which these spots that I'm putting the carpets on aren't going to grow when I put this bone meal on it. So we'll just have to fill in accordingly here in a second. That there, another one there. And then we can just sprinkle this around just to give us a base layer. And then we can go put more flowers that we want. Too big. Okay. Not overflowing onto the ground anywhere. Didn't go outside, right? Okay, cool. So that's a good starting place. We want to have the beehives be the main attraction in the middle-ish. So probably right where that is. Probably prop it up on a birch sapling or birch plank, maybe? That would seems like it makes sense. Like if it was just like, right? Uh, where's that? Oh, this one's not going to have a good center point because it's not circular. Boom. That'll be cool. So then that'll allow us to have 3, 6, 9, 12 bees flying around in here. Maybe that might be too much. I don't know yet. We'll see, I guess. So if that's the case, we probably want to figure out how tall we want to make this. I don't want to make it tall that it looks like Sandy Cheeks dome thing in SpongeBob. I think that would look goofy, like if you're coming around the things like this tall. So we probably want to do trying to think how we tie a tree into this and make it not look goofy. If we made this, let's just say that's the center. This came up just to figure out the height here. How high is that before it becomes goofy coming over this hill? Granted, we don't have the best line of sight here, but like if I was coming through, yeah, that's too tall. Personally, I think that's too tall. So if we came to somewhere like there, maybe, and kind of have it like, what's the word I want to use here? Like if the dome comes up and is kind of flat, I'd imagine the tree would grow until it can't grow anymore and then kind of splat across the roof, if that makes sense. Like kind of like a pancake and then have like stuff hanging. That's kind of what my brain sees here. I think that might look kind of cool. And then we can do kind of like structural bands to hold, that would be holding the glass, if that makes sense. Oh, also it's nighttime, so we can see all the particles come out, which will look pretty cool in a second here. So all the bees would return to their hives and then all these particles would come out. We also need to light this up in here, which I'm going to do once we figure out the tree, because we can do some like, maybe some hanging glowberries might look nice here. Okay. Give me a few minutes. I'm gonna go look at some reference pictures of trees and see what I come up with. When I find one that I like, I'll show it and then we can go from there. All right, I found a reference image. I'll put it up on screen now. Basically, it's kind of like Sahara Desert, lions would be in it. The thing I don't like about this one, but it does show kind of what I'm going for. This tree is very wide, so it goes evenly in both directions, kind of. I kind of want ours to go up in the middle and then kind of like splat more towards the top rather than coming out and going at a 45 in each direction. I feel like that'll take up too much space and take away from the beehives and stuff. So if we're gonna do that, we need some fence, not fence, wall. There's, I think it's andesite walls might look good. Yeah, that'll look cool. Some acacia logs will look cool. Let me clear out my bar here. We're gonna need some fences. It's not really like a grayish fence. All right, we'll hold off on the fences for now. Let's just kind of get like a general shape. I didn't add the acacia log. So probably want something wide at the bottom, and we can add like some stuff down here. Do something like that. It's gonna look ugly until we figure this out. So something like that. Get it up to the height we want. And then we need to pick out a leaf. Maybe azalea leaves would look nice on this. Do some azalea leaves. Maybe azalea and birch? I don't know. We'll see. Let's... And this would basically be like up against the glass at that point. So let me get a little bit of the glass in here too, just so we can see. I think that's the height we'd want. Yeah. Something like that would be cool. Ignore my bad clicking. Yeah, so like the tree is gonna be the tree's been like growing, so it's gone as far up as it can. So we also will end up rounding this. Something like that on the edges kind of ordeal. Yeah, that'll look good. Because you figure like you're not going to make a gigantic pane of glass that's just like flat and 90 to 90. That wouldn't make too much sense. So something like that would look cool. And then we can even this out a little bit. This is going to be pretty much a big pancake. And then there'll be some that hang down. And then we also need to make this way more interesting. But we need more blocks that would match this color palette. We also can introduce some other colors here. So like, I don't want stuff too light, but like some of the acacia stuff, maybe just mess around with it. See what we come up with. Forgot that walls don't connect to that. So we have to do something like this. And then we can do stuff like this. It's going to look hideous for a bit, but that's okay. We also want some slabs. Will look cool. I don't want it to stick out super far. We can probably stick it out a little bit more. We did something like this. This is the process. I put some stuff down. I go, man, that looks ugly. I back up. We do it a little bit more. So just bear with me. Need more colors. This is too bland. So let me do this. I'm going to run downstairs, grab a drink, and think about this. I will be right back. Okay. We were on the right path. I'm going to swap. These are definitely way too out of place. So we're going to swap this stuff out with spruce. I think will look much better. We are also going to, this just looks hideous. So we're going to get rid of that. For now, we are going to do one of these guys, pick a couple directions, make it sporadic. Yeah. And then we can go something like that. That might look kind of cool. Yeah, that looks much better. Okay. And then we can tie stuff in. And something like yeah. Something like that might be cool. That in. We'll just have to get more leaves in here. That's more like what I'm looking for. We'll just tie some stuff in here and there. Not forget about the back of it. Maybe go like that. Yeah, that looks pretty cool. We need to do more with the leaves here. Round them out a little bit. It's looking very pancakey. I like the thought of having some holes through the canopy might look nice during the day, having sun come down through. And of course it's raining, so let's clear that up. And there's game rules I can set to make it so it doesn't rain and stuff and it just stays daytime all the time, but I'm always backing up my world and copying over a new copy of it, so I figure this is probably just easier to just type it when I need to. Okay. Yeah, the center needs something. What it is, I don't know, but it needs something. This definitely needs some glowberry. I think it needs some glowberry stuff. And some vines, I think, is what we need to do here. Can I not hang it from these? That's not a thing? Okay, so if that's not a thing, we need to tie in some, I'm pretty sure you can hang it from moss, right? You can. So let's tie some moss blocks in. Something like that. It's annoying that these are going to be pretty solid, so it kind of just is what it is, but we'll just get a couple of these guys hanging. Will look nice. And to make them grow, we have to bone meal them. So like that. And then cool tip that you can do to stop things from growing is you put a string underneath them. I didn't mean to do that. I meant to put a string under it. So let me rebone meal that, because otherwise they'll just keep growing until they hit the ground. You can't even see the string either. Those are pretty bright in comparison, so I think we need to add a brighter leaf color in here. How does oak look in this, or is this, that's too dark? What about like birch? I already have them on my bar. That's also dark. Is there any other leaf that's as bright as azalea leaves, or are those the brightest one? Because I do like the, honestly, hold on. Maybe it does need these darker ones just tossed about in there. It's too pointy. That's looking pretty good. Yeah, that's looking pretty good so far. Okay, so let's get the rest of the dome in then. Let me grab this. What am I trying to do? Clone. Let's... Can you stop? Cancel. Thank you. That. Confirm. 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 And then we can move it all the way this way. Cool. Then we can cancel. We can take this whole thing, go this way with it. Confirm that in there. Finish. Cool. We can punch the hole back for... Oh, didn't mean to make it that tall. For the entrance. Then we can break the tall grass we just made. Get that to that height. Come back in here. Give me this to this. Boom, boom, boom. Then go that to that. Slide that. One block too big, so I will just manually break it. Cool. Then we can take all of that and go back here, and then we'll just manually fill in the ones that we didn't place. Or I can overshoot it and not put it in the right place. Confirm, finish. Then let's grab that to that, delete that. Fill this in. Cool. Also, I chose white stained glass because that's what we've been using on all of our builds, so I figured it would fit in the best doing it that way. This is coming out pretty good so far. Like that. Yeah, this is coming out pretty cool. So you'd be in here. This definitely is gonna, it needs to come out more. It needs to be more of a circle. Probably hang it out to like almost where the bends are happening. But I think that'll look pretty cool. So let's do something like this for the tunnel. Yep. Fill this in. Mr. Block. So then I figure we can just do one of these. That's... Oh, what do we want to do for doors? Question of the day. Probably just spruce. Something like that. And then stairs. Yeah. We could just do one of those, but then we just need to texture this. So let's grab some polished. Something like that. And then I want to tie this into... Do I want to make it diorite or do I want to make it wood? I think wood is probably going to be cooler. Yeah, let's try spruce here. for the uprights. Because that's what we've been using. Probably just do the same thing then on these. With the like we'll do the shelves like we have been doing. Everybody using oak? I'm so lost. I have been using oak. I was like, this looks too dark. Okay, so let's grab oak instead. I was gonna say, I didn't think it was normally that dark looking. Oop. Something like that. Oop, fell through the tree. Yeah, do something like that. I should put those back. I thought about it when I was breaking them, but let's set it back today. Yeah, because then it makes sense that the beams are actually sitting on something solid. Okay. We're just gonna put it down and see what it looks like. And if I don't like it, then I can change it. Oop. Didn't mean to do that. Yeah. Sure. Like, because then that would have to be laying. Yeah, this would go across. We'll find a way to tie this in and make it look nice. But for now, we'll just slap her in. Like that. So funny, well, not really funny, kind of scary, but story time while I place down logs here. Did I go up two? Yeah, two. In the last Forever World episode, episode 9, I was kind of oh, that needs to go up one block. I kind of wasn't myself that episode, and it had taken me a while to figure out. It's been kind of like weeks of me trying to figure out why when I'm recording episodes, this needs to go here. I was right the first time. Why I like wasn't myself that episode. Turns out I have a CO2 problem in my room that I record in. So I basically was CO2ing myself while recording because I'd have the door shut and there was just zero ventilation in the room. So I'd be playing the game and the CO2 was not leaving the room. And high CO2 levels can cause all kinds of stuff like headaches, nausea, all kinds of fun stuff. Why does this not line up? Oh, because it's too wide. That's right. 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 Okay. Let's pivot here really quickly because that's gonna bug me. So instead of a 2-door, we're going to do a 1-door. I'm sure somebody was watching me place those going, that's not gonna line up. Let's put that down, that down. Yeah. Yeah, so high CO2 levels can cause all kinds of stuff. So I was recording that episode getting basically sicker and sicker as I was building the moss farm. It is no longer a problem. But definitely something to watch out for. We can actually push this over now. So let me fix that. Yeah, so when they talk about CO2 being how do I have this? The silent killer and stuff like that. It's no joke. I was getting quite confused while I was playing the game, and I didn't fully understand why or what was going on, and I I had to buy a CO2 like sensor. I have CO2 things in my smoke detectors and stuff, but there's not one in my room. There's one out in the hallway, but the door was shut. So I actually have like a actual sensor. And for the people that are um up on their terminology and up on CO2, outside air is 300 parts per million, like 300 to 400 parts per million. That's fresh air that's outside. A normal room goes anywhere from like 400 to or more like 500 to 1,000, where like 1,000 is you're getting into the bad air at that point. Anything above 1,000 is like you can start suffering health effects is the general consensus across all the people that study CO2 in blood. And my room was hitting 2505 parts per million, which is pretty high. So, and obviously it affects everybody differently. So I was definitely feeling it. I had to leave my room and like basically vent my room for a while, before I figured out why I was getting sick. So, that's my, public service announcement of if you're feeling sick and you don't understand why and you leave an area, it's probably CO2. Um, but yeah, so back to this. I don't know if I like it so far. Just let me just fill it in before I get all bent out of shape about how it looks. We need to figure out these corners. Let's do something like this. Okay. I mean, it's not horrible. We definitely need some texture, or not texture. We need some depth on, I don't like that this is like this. That definitely needs to connect. Yeah, we definitely need some depth. Like it's too flat. So how we can do that? We can do something like how I've been doing on these roofs. Doing kind of like the spikies. I don't know what they call them. They put them on castles. They put them on Gothic buildings. I might even change the glass to white. The more I look at it, just like when I was just flying in, I'm like, man, that thing sticks out. It's like a beacon. um, hmm. Do I still have World Edit installed? I do. Okay, so let me do this. World Edit's another plugin or mod. I say plugin because I'm used to running servers. I don't know. I'm sure a bunch of you who know what World Edit is now, but basically I can just do something along these lines. We'll do position 2. So basically I just selected an area, and then we can do replace white stained glass with just regular glass. Do we like that? I think I like it better than the white, and we still get the white from the diorite on it. Yeah, I think I like that better. So let's smooth this out a bit with some spruce planks. And then we can figure out some spacing here. That actually works. It actually works kind of nicely. So we'll see what that looks like. Does it work the same on the sides here? Might look goofy for a moment. That's like my slogan while I'm doing any build. Okay, that might be too much. I mean, unless I just connect it. Like, would that just make sense structurally? Structurally, that's the word. That doesn't look too bad. These, that definitely needs something. Then this will give me a spot that I can add a sign to it, but it's pretty flat. So we definitely need some shelves. I've been loving these new shelves. How many blocks we got? 1, 2, 3, 4, of course. We do something like something like that. Gives us some form of texture. Yeah, this will give us a little bit more depth. Just make it not look as flat. The top still needs something, and I don't know what it is. It needs something though. Okay. Well, since we have the thing enclosed, we can put the bees in, so that would look cool. This also needs to not be grass. We can do... They always have gravel in those airlocks, so let's just put some gravel in, and then this needs a door here. Like that. Yeah. And then you would be inside. This definitely needs to come out more, but we can get the bees in. Bee spawn egg. So we can have 3, 6, 9, 12 of them, right? Because the beehives hold 3. Yeah. Okay. So we can spawn 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Cool. We are going to need some more flowers also. And like some leaf litter. Oh yeah, disco bees. Okay. Let's make this top thing bigger. I definitely want this to come out farther. Cast more of a shadow in here. And the leaves won't despawn because the structural, air quotes, beams are wood. So it'll actually make it so they have somewhere to not despawn. That's way too weird shaped. Sorry if people are getting dizzy while I'm just spinning around in circles like a top. Yeah, that looks cool. Grab some more stuff. Need some more azalea leaves in here also. Grab some of these guys. Just for color. Cool. Need some more depth. It's too flat. Wrap some of these around. I can just picture somebody getting seasick as I'm just whipping in circles around this thing. That looks cool. We definitely need some, what is the word I'm looking for? Glowberries. That's the one. Which means we need moss. That's right. The bees are pushing me around. One there. There's already one there, so maybe one there. And do one here. Sure. Boink, boink. Boink, boink. The long one back here. Where was the one up over here? And a long one there. Let's grab some string. So basically, I mean, building, designing in this game is just all iteration. I also don't think I'm that good at designing stuff. Until recently, I really haven't ever, like, been building my own kind of stuff. Normally I just follow tutorials and, like, I'll see a house or something in a picture and I just copy it kind of thing. But I've really been liking building my own stuff. Something we can definitely look at right now that will probably be pretty cool to see is if we were outside the club and we couldn't even get in, time set night. Yeah, that looks cool. Go away, son. Yeah, I like the glowberries. Oop, stuck on a tree. Cool. Still got the particles filling up. Go home, bee. We should get some vines growing, or like on the glass might be look pretty cool. Pretty cool, pretty cool. Do something like, especially in the corners. That's too much vines. Something like that might be cool. They're gonna, I kind of want it to be like, it's overgrown, but it's not, you know what I mean? Like that. Then we can change the, is it tick rate to, the default's 20. So if we set it to 60, that's 3 times game speed. Okay, maybe we go higher. 200. Bees are going to be moving super fast. I just want all the vines to grow in. Why aren't the vines growing? They're taking their time. I'm sure there's some game logic that I don't know about. This still feels goofy to me. That still feels goofy. I mean, maybe I leave the cubby? That might not be too bad, actually. Yeah, the cubby kind of looks cool. Okay, so this clearly isn't making them, I mean, it's making some grow. Okay. Yeah, we can just set it to something ridiculous, like 600. We're gonna rip through days here. Put it back to day. Alright, they're gonna whip around a little bit. That's fine. Yeah, I mean, this looks pretty cool already. Let's get some more flowers. Definitely want to put some of these wildflowers in. I like the cornflowers too. These are cool. I like the blue. Slap a couple of these guys around. All the bees are gonna come flying at me because I have a flower in my hand. Yeah, bees, it's nighttime. Go to bed. Everybody go to bed, man. A bunch of these wildflowers around. Cool. Cool, cool, cool. Everybody's staring at me. What else does this need? It needs a normal tick rate to start. So the bees can go away. Go somewhere else, please. We need to make a little Minecraft bench. Let's get a little inspiration on a bench here. Something that would fit in this nicely. We don't have much space. Not really a good way to, I mean, I just typed bench into Minecraft, by the way. We could do like a little slab. I mean, spruce trapdoor, maybe? Backwards. I mean, this is just gonna look like a chair. That's not what we're looking for. We could do, maybe we don't do a bench. Maybe we do little like countertops. So we could do like a little countertop with like a pot. Yeah, do that with like a little pot. maybe put like a poppy. That's the one. That didn't go into my inventory at all. Poppy. Boink. Boink. And oxeye daisy. That brightens the place up a little bit. Yeah, that brightens it up a little bit. And then yeah, I think that looks pretty cool. I think we maybe need, I think we need a little bit of coarse dirt sprinkled through here too, just for a little more color. I don't want to break stuff. Oh, like that. Yeah, that looks good. Just a little bit at a time, you know what I mean? Okay, that's not bad. And I mean, the way we want to see this is definitely from like here. So that'll look pretty cool, especially having like a pathway come down through here to go that way. And then, I mean, we can branch that way too. So I think this looks pretty cool. Disco bee. Woo! Yeah. I mean, I think that looks pretty cool. So let's pivot. I'd say that's pretty good. If you have any suggestions, let me know. I think that came out pretty good. So I think this guy just needs a tiny little house. I'm thinking kind of like how we did the lumber mill, where tiny house on the side, which we still need to do the inside of this, but how I want to do this is desk. Basically, like you would come in, this would just be a desk that goes across, and I'm going to move the ladder to this side. So he would be stuck inside here, and then he would have an upstairs that goes up to the loft up here, just from right there. And his bedroom will be here, but we need honey blocks to actually trap him in there. So I think we just do tiny house just like this. Similar ordeal to this right here. And then we'll have, instead of it being off to the side to get into the bees, or do we put the, maybe we do. Maybe we do like the lumber mill. We set this to a trap door. Yeah. Actually, could sprinkle a couple trap doors around in here. This would actually look kind of nice. Completely forgot about trap doors. One there. Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh, actually, I want it to turn nighttime. I want to check the light levels, make sure nothing can spawn in here. Yeah, so we can do underneath there will actually be all the bee farms. So we can put a bee breeder down there and then the actual farms to get all the honey blocks and honey bottles. So is the sun down as I try to go up inside the glass dome? Almost. Oh, phantoms are spawning, so is it that H? Okay. So the back corners are too dark. So, oh, I need to, I'm leaving my airlock open, man. I'm going to lose my bees. Torch. That needs a torch in there. That'll light that up. Then we need to just light this up probably easiest way, we could just go boom, boom, and boom, 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 and boom, oop, boom, boom. Yeah. I mean, it's kind of cringe because, I mean, we still get the particles. Like, let me turn this off. Yeah, we still get the particles at night, so it's not too bad. I kind of liked it when it got dimmer, so we get more particles, but it is what it is. So, okay. We are, I think it's also going to be funny. I don't want to build an airlock on this side, so technically, if this guy just like, he basically would open the door and bees would just come in his house if this was real life. So let's just lay out something super simple here. I think we just go, do we want it right there? I want that to be behind the desk. So this isn't going to be the block we use, but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I don't want it to be a very big house. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah. Sure. Sure, sure, sure. My brain is processing, trying to think what I want to do here. Yeah. Spruce planks for the floor. And the reason I build all the houses the same is the way I think of it is, if this was an actual village of people, they would all be going to the lumber mill, and the lumber mill would be cutting up spruce planks because that's what everybody's using. So everybody would get a spruce plank floor. That's my thought process, at least. 1, 2, 3, 4. Ooh, my cats are going crazy in the background, if you can hear that. How did I make the door on this? Kind of want to make it similar looking. Okay, interesting. As I fly into a tree while I look at what my cats are doing. Maybe this needs like a little like, you know, like the tops of like gondolas, they kind of do like a little fancy thing. Maybe that's what that needs. Hmm. Let's grab strip oak. Yeah, and I don't want this one. I've been doing pointy roofs. I would like to do a pointy roof, but I don't think it would make sense for over here. I want to keep the roofs the same across the buildings, but I don't think it would make much sense on this one, because if the roof is like, if it has a big pointy roof, it's going to be like this high, and then it's just going to look weird. Also, we need to do something about the glass on the inside. Otherwise, you're going to be looking into the side of this guy's house, which is weird to think about. So, we need a door, obviously. And we'll go inside door. We need oak planks for texturing the walls. Something like that. He's gonna need windows also. Yeah, something like that. He definitely needs some windows. Glass. The bone meal off my bar. Let's see. If I came in, I'd expect a window here. I'd also expect a window behind him. Might look nice. Sure. I think we need a pillar in there. I think needs to happen. I think we also need a pillar inside here that needs to happen. And then we'll fill that in kind of thing. Maybe we keep this one window for him to look in and make sure everything's okay from his house, but he definitely is not going to have a glass wall on his house. That doesn't make too much sense. So if that's the case, we need a spruce stair to build this countertop on. That. We need spruce slabs. This will just go across. Yeah, trapdoor. So if I came in the shop, maybe the trapdoor goes there, and we just don't even connect it down. It just connects on that one side. Yeah, sure. And he needs the normal stuff. Let's see. A bank. How about chest? Bank. Then he needs a... What does he need? I mean, these are all going to be honey blocks. And then probably do a yellow carpet. That might... No, definitely not a yellow carpet. That looks hideous. Red carpet? No. Moss carpet? That's when it's going to be in the other shop. Sure. And just to show what I was talking about earlier, if you put a villager in here... Oh, actually, he has a door on this one, so I'm curious. Does he just... Can he get out? Interesting. Hold on. So if I push him out of the way, I don't want him to interact with the doors. So if I go like... Of course. Oh, now I can't jump. Wait, I'm in creative. I can jump. Now does he not interact with it? If I get away from him, and then I come back, does he just try to go through the door? Hello. Are you just off braking because I flew over and used the trapdoor? Oh, okay. I mean, whatever. That's fine. Okay. So then he needs a ladder that would go upstairs, and then it's gonna live in a loft. So, how do I want to do this roof? figure out the roof line here. Maybe just a normal. Going no, like that. Where's that connect? Right there. Does that look fine? If I make it one more block tall, like, can I make this? Just make it the same height as the... Yeah, surely we can make that happen. We went planks. These top ones need to be stairs. Yeah, that looks better. Okay, so then what we can do is grab this. Oh, I actually need to get a block over here to actually click on. We can go boom, boom. Move it, confirm, move, confirm, confirm, confirm. That gets us right up to the house. Cool. Cool. He's gonna have a little bit of dead space, but that's fine. Boom. Boom, boom. Yeah. What did I do on the ends on this roof? Is it just kind of flat? Yeah, it is. I mean, that's starting to come together. We need to tie this in better. Oop, oop. That. Why do I hear a bat? There better not be any... Oh, is it in that? It's in the section that I covered up earlier. What is going on here? That needs to go there. That. Boom, boom. Cool. So this is going to be the upstairs floor. Honestly, hold on. I mean, the bedroom upstairs is not going to have a glass. That's cool. We need, oh. Ripped oak logs to continue this. Gonna be trapped in here in a second. Okay. Like that. That needs to go. This honestly just needs to just be filled. Yeah. This just needs to be filled in. Not like that. like that. 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 That's kind of cool. Fill this in. We got some weird lighting going on in here that we can definitely adjust. That. Let's go in here, see what we got going on. That just needs to be fixed. That. I think these would not be like that. Something like that. I mean, it's a little goofy looking, but it's the side of a house and a glass wall, so I mean, I guess it's just goofy overall, no? Definitely needs some shelves. I know I put vines on here, but that's okay. It's all part of the process here. Yeah. Then need some oak planks scattered about in here. Make stuff look different. Some buttons would look nice. Just a few of them. Cool. That's, I mean, that looks pretty good to me. If I open this, do you run? Oh, you don't. Cool. All right, you stay there. This definitely needs some shelves, which I just got off my bar. So we don't need any more doors though, so that's cool. That needs to not be that. Same thing there. What am I doing? Not that. This needs something. This needs to be oak. I don't like that. Which I think is what we did on the other one, if I remember correctly. I'll go take a peek after this. Yeah, let me take a peek. I think I did like a giant center beam. If I remember correctly, I did. And then I put some stuff over the windows. So let's add the same thing with the windows. More texture. Boom. Sorry, you need to move button, even though I just put you down. This needs to have a window here. Glass. Whoop. That's not the right thing. Here we go. That's... cool. Yeah. That looks cool. We need some torches to light this up so nothing bad happens. And then he needs a pot on his table. Definitely. Yeah, right there's good. He also needs a lantern. I'm like right there. Yeah. That's cool. Oh, well that's gonna be a problem. How can I fix that? I mean, well, actually, do we just not care about that one spot? Yeah, we don't care about that one spot. That's how we fix it. And we can go like that. Go boom. Cool. Just in case we need to get in here. There needs to be a bed up here. Obviously, and it needs to be orange. Because honey is orange. Something like that for now. That's cool. You can look over. Yeah. We're snapping on this one. Excuse me. Pardon me. Thank you. And then this definitely needs a lightning rod. And honestly, I'm really happy how that came along. Just a nice little build. It looks cool at nighttime. Obviously, we need like ground, but that's going to be at a later date. I'm happy how that came out. Change it today. Yeah. Okay, let me try setting resource, nope, not resource packs, video. Shader packs. Let's see if this crashes my recording or not. I hope it doesn't. Hey, it didn't crash. Cool. That looks nice. Nice. I'm really happy how this came out. This definitely needs a sign that says staff only. Stop typing staff. Sign. Spruce sign. Staff only. Nice. I'm really happy how this came out. Yeah. Time set night. I'm really happy. Okay. Cool. Yeah. So let me set it back to day. I think that's gonna do it for this one. I hope you guys enjoyed. I have no clue how long this episode is. I'm gonna cut all the fluff out of it, but for most of that, it's probably me mumbling and stuff, but I hope you guys liked it. And if you guys really like this, we'll do them a bunch. And anytime I'm going to do a build and I need to design it, I might as well record it and talk while I'm doing it anyways. I just don't like doing it during the episodes because, I mean, this took me a while. So I'm sure this whole video is probably going to be like an hour or something. But yeah, we'll do this more often. So see ya in the next Forever World episode or the next build video. Bye bye.